Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. After like 3 years, I haven't done a video in forever, but today I just got back from SHOT Show and I saw that there's a Masters of the Universe trailer today that I haven't seen, that I keep seeing clips about. And what most of you probably don't know is that I see a movie probably every week, maybe two, and I love movies. And so this is like a piece of my childhood, which is crazy. I literally have like a Masters of the Universe puzzle on my wall. So I figured we'd watch it together and let's see what we think. See where's the play button. All right, here goes nothing.
All that stuff that only exists in legends and bedtime stories.
Okay, that looks pretty rad. Castle Grayskull. That looks pretty rad.
Talking tigers, spaceships, and magic swords that can make a man at.
So the sword is accurate to one of the biggest irritations I have with movies from my childhood or comics from my childhood or games or whatever. And then they change them to movies is not making things look like they did in the game. So that's cool. That sword matches almost exactly.
As mighty as a god. Where I come from, that stuff is real.
Oh, come on.
Why did you send me away?
I wanted you to be safe.
So we'll see. We'll see what we do when we see the movie. But anybody that grew up in the era that He-Man was a show and you watched it, you also watched movies like Commando, Rambo, where dudes were huge and jacked, and He-Man was jacked. Like if you watch the cartoon or you have the toys, like He-Man is jacked. Like what's the dude from Reacher? Like that jacked, like big dude. Uh, and obviously this guy's shirt's on right now, so I'm not sure, but yeah, so far he doesn't look like he can be jacked enough to play this role. So
So I sent you to a place I knew that they'd never find you. There's
really, hopefully that's just a joke on modern times.
This obsession with nerd stuff and sword things, it's not a good look for human resources.
I know it sounds crazy, but that sword is gonna show.
Like that, that dude is jacked. Obviously that's just a model. Um, that dude's jacked. That's what He-Man should look like. I don't know, man. It's not looking good.
Me the way home.
Sir, you can't do that.
Don't worry, the sword's mine.
Hang on, it's about to get weird.
So I really hope, for the sake of the movie, that, for example, stuff that I enjoyed, Starsky and Hutch, Chips, which I didn't watch Chips, but like I know a lot of people enjoyed that from that era. Dukes of Hazzard. They made movies of all those shows that were serious, and then when they made the movies, they did this underlying like, we know this was the dumbest show ever, so we're kind of doing like a funny take on it. I hope they don't do that, and I hope to make it serious. If anybody knows about when they did Masters of the Universe the first time live action, where Dolph Lundgren played He-Man, who was jacked, maybe not as jacked as He-Man in the show or the toy, but he was pretty jacked. But it was serious. It was a serious adaptation. And I don't mind when they add a little comedy, but when they make a mockery joke of it, kind of like Dukes of Hazzard and Starsky and Hutch and Chips, where they kind of make it dumb. They make it like the characters are dumb and not intelligent. I don't like that. So I'm hoping I kind of see hints of that. Like he's a dumb nerd. Which nothing wrong with dumb nerds. I'm a dumb nerd, but that's not what He-Man is. So I hope they don't screw that up. Grayskull. That view right there. That is a great view. Like that is. I actually have a Castle Grayskull still to this day. I don't have it on display because I don't have room for it on my toy wall. But yeah, that's awesome. That's cool looking.
What am I supposed to do?
Oh,
Take the sword. You
dude,
protect them.
Skeletor looks awesome. Yo, I'm telling you, he looks small. I'm not saying that's going to break the movie, but he looks a little small. And they made him blue. Okay. That's cool. So one of the irritations that guys like me have, and I don't know, we might be a minority. I don't really know. I don't really talk to many people about movies because most people don't know that I enjoy movies this much. But a big issue is not keeping source material. The biggest example is Wolverine. When they made the Wolverine movie, and they just made him Logan, like not in costume. And then when he got in his costume, he didn't have the mask, and his freaking colors were all dark and whatever. Like, okay, cool, but you have to have one that's in his original costume because that's what we remember, that's what we like. New fans obviously don't care, but throw homage to the fans, the original fans that love the show or love the character in the first place, which they eventually did in Wolverine, Deadpool Wolverine, which was phenomenal and everybody loved it and it was a hit. So why couldn't you have done that years ago when they started? So to the point, when you watch the original Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren, Skeletor does not look like Skeletor. Even Dolph Lundgren's like everything on him is kind of different from the cartoon and the character, the toy. And so they just kind of slightly make it different, which you do have to slightly make it different, but some things just to throw homage to the original and Skeletor being freaking purple is freaking rad because that's what his character was originally. So that's cool, man. That's cool. I like it. I hope that it ends up being good, and maybe I'll start doing this more often where I react to previews and do reviews. Most people won't agree with the way I do reviews because I literally go to movies to escape. So even an awful movie, I usually enjoy. There's very few movies that I go, that was awful, and that was an awful movie, and I wanted to walk out, or I'll never see it again. Most movies I enjoy, even if they're bad, even if they're so outlandish. In fact, sometimes the more outlandish, the more I like them. It's very rare that I really love realistic stuff. And if I do like realistic stuff, it's got to be really close to reality. It can't be too much of a bend. Like it has to be a bend, obviously, because you can't. Reality is sometimes boring. Even the most exciting stuff is boring. But like SEAL Team, the TV show SEAL Team, I love that show. I wish they would do. I wish the producer of that show would do like a SWAT show and the same, like seriousness of it. Because like the SWAT movie from back in the day, obviously super fun movie, but not even remotely close to real. The TV show SWAT is probably one of the worst TV shows ever created. I got through like 5 minutes of it and turned it off. And every time I see a clip pop up, it just makes me mad because it's just not a good adaptation of what SWAT would be as a guy that was spent a decade on a full-time team. So anyway, thank you. You might not see me again in 3 years. Who knows? I just randomly popped in and I saw that, so I figured I would share. Kind of cool. All right. Deuces.